Hello and good morning everybody. Welcome to the gold and silver end of week review. Great to see so many of you on the call this morning. Guys, today we are going to be reviewing the latest development in the commodities markets and analysing the week's performance on gold and silver and also the commodity currencies. So if it's your first time on one of these calls, we see there are some familiar faces as well. What we'll be covering over the course of this session, we're going to look at the end of week summary for gold, silver, oil and commodity currencies. We'll be looking at the top trades of the week, live market commentary and technical analysis, the week ahead, so key events looking forward and any questions and answers. So one thing before we get going, guys, I want to bring to your attention. We're going to be paying particular attention this morning to the markets, how they've performed after the US presidential election. We're going to, you can see very clearly at the moment that the US fiscal debate is hurting equities markets, and certainly over the last 7 days we've seen that the equities fall quite dramatically. So we're just having a look at some news coming in today, and we can actually see that currently there are a lot of concerns related to the upcoming so-called fiscal cliff, which is worth over 600 billion of tax increases and spending cuts in 2013. So really, if this is allowed to happen, the US will see the equivalent of 5% of GDP removed from their economy. So this is likely to weigh on the US growth, unemployment, and weaken the dollar quite heavily if this does happen. This is just some news which is coming out really at the moment, and just this morning, kind of breaking news on Reuters, just with regard to the gold price. We see we're getting a lot of volatility these last few days, and it shows that it's more likely really for the Fed to continue with their stimulus policy and to spur growth and give sort of strong impetus to the vulnerable labour market, so enhancing investor demand for gold, silver, really as a hedge against inflation. Okay, so this is really we're seeing a lot of volatility. We're going to move into live market analysis very shortly. I just wanted to share that with you very quickly. Okay, and I see more people are just joining the call now, which is fantastic. So we'll just welcome to everybody who's just joining the call. We're going to be talking more about the fiscal cliff very shortly, actually, as well as we look at the live markets. So just a little bit about myself and Nick. So I'm a professional trader and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialise in teaching people how to make money from trading the biggest financial markets in the world. So Forex, gold, silver and oil. I've trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders to successfully manage their own investment portfolio. I'm responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. Also a regular contributor to a number of financial publications and speaker at numerous trading seminars and workshops. This is Nick Kalsi, who's joining me on the call. Nick is a professional trainer, investment analyst and speaker. Now, Nick began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. Prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, Nick spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top-tier hedge funds and investment banks. And it's also through his first-hand relationships with some of the world's most successful traders that he has discovered the formula, mindset and tools that can give any individual the definitive edge to make money in any economy. He also regularly writes for a number of global business and financial publications, and we also both appear on TV frequently. This was our recent actual interview with Swiss TV, Dukascopy TV, just giving our analysis on the commodities market, gold and silver, over the final quarter of the year. And here's some recent publications that we've been in experts in gold and silver in the press. We actually just came out yesterday, Global Banking and Finance. We did a big section on how to profit from gold and silver during volatile markets. Been in International Life and South African, some of our recent publications. So that's just a little bit about myself and Nick. Okay, so we're going to make it interactive, guys. We're going to please do put your questions in the Q&A so we can look at any markets you're wishing to pay particular attention to. First of all, we want to be focusing on gold and silver. So, guys, if you want to turn your attention to the spot price at the moment and have a look, if you want to just write down in the chat there what the gold price is at the moment this morning. So we have had a bit of a pullback this morning in gold price. So if you want to let me know what the price is right now. Okay, fantastic. Spot on, Danji. Yes, the price of silver right now is actually $1,708. So we've had a little bit of a pullback this morning on the price of gold, which we will be going through very shortly on our charts. Okay. So first of all, we're just going to quickly turn our attention to the top trades of the week. So these are the top trades that we've had this week, primarily using one of our strategies of price action. So what you'll see here is we're right back at this level again this morning with silver, and it's held several, well, actually every time we've come down to around the 13.16 level, between 32.16 and 32.25. We've actually held this week in terms of a level of support. So it's provided plenty of day trades this week. It's been a great week just for sideways moving markets, particularly in silver. So here we've got two trades actually we took this week, both on the 13th and the 15th. We got in at 32.16, got out just at the resistance at 32.76. It was a 60 pip trade. So from very simply a risk of 15 pips on the trade, $150 risk at one lot. £600 profit from each of those trades. You can see very clearly on the screen there where we just come into those trades at the level of support and we've got out at the level of resistance. And you'll actually see silver is coming down again just to test this level in white right now. So some of you have got your live trading, your screens on right now. It's great to see lots more of you joining the call now as well. So you haven't missed the live trading yet. So we're just going to quickly turn our eye now to gold. So the top trades really on gold. Again, it's been very much a week of sideways markets with gold. 1721 was holding for most of the week up until yesterday, and we had some nice quick trades from there. So very simply trading that 1721. It was a major Fibonacci level, a good level of support. You can see where the price action just bounced on it, off it with real pinpoint accuracy several times this week. And it was just a case of getting nice and tight off that level, coming up and getting out a level of 1730, which was a level of resistance that we've seen on gold throughout most of the week, and it's been just quick trades. We've had, again, on the 13th and the 14th, we were in and out of gold just for $200 risk for a £900 profit there, and you can see it's just a 20-point risk for 90-point reward. So just trading in lots, you can see that's a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So just going back to silver and gold, they've both been very similar this week. So they've provided good day trading opportunities just to get in off levels of support, sell off levels of resistance, and both of those have been 3-to-1 risk to reward ratios. So those have been very nice, and we're actually right back down to those support levels again with silver today. We'll take a look at that very shortly. Now, we have had some rather large trades as well on the commodity currencies. We had a large trade earlier on in the week on Australian New Zealand dollar. This was on the 13th. You can see here where we've come down. We tested again at a major level of support, a Fibonacci level as well. We bounced right off it, so you saw a lot of buyers come into the market when it came down to that price action level. So we got in at 1.2722 if you want to look at your charts, and it was very simply a very tight risk on there, just the blue band that we've got highlighted on the screen. So 9-point risk, and to make 71 pips there just in the duration. It was a very quick trade actually on this. We were out just within about 4 or 5 hours on this particular trade. We reached our automated take profit there, 71 pip profit on there. So from a $90 risk on there, £710 profit on that trade, just trading in lots. That was Australian New Zealand dollar. We actually had another bite of the trade here as well. We rallied across the Asia Pacific session. The price came right down on Thursday. Here actually on the left here is a screenshot which we took, provided for our trading community when we actually came down and we were testing this fib level. So the top left-hand corner, you'll see where we had the price alert, the trade alert come through. We had a major bounce off this price action level, and you'll see what subsequently happened. So this is the rally, which happened just 1 day later. So from just a risk, this was yesterday actually, from early morning. So from a 10 pip risk on that trade, $100 if you're trading at one lot, we had a 52-point trade, so 5-to-1 risk to reward, so $520 profit from $100 risk on the trade. And USD Japanese yen provided a monster trade this week. So you can see here again the screenshot of which we took as the price was coming down to test a major level of support, price action level. We had what's known as the dragonfly doji, which the price just was rejected from that level of support, highlighted in white, and you can see we had a massive rally of USD Japanese yen, which actually eventually reached our longer term target of 223 pips from very simply a risk of 42 pips on that trade, which was where we calculated the next level of support if we were to come down. So we had a 42-point risk to make 223 pips, so $420 to make 2,230. So that was a 5-to-1 risk reward on USD Japanese yen. So those are the top trades of this week, guys. So we're just looking at gold, silver. We included one of the Asia Pacific markets. We trade there just because it was such a great trade that we got into. So these are the top trades of the week. We're now going to turn our eye to some live market analysis. Okay, so we're going to look at gold, silver. Just turn our. We're just going to flip onto my other screen. Okay, that's just loading up the screen there, guys. If you want to just check the prices yourself, go ahead and do so. Okay, fantastic. So here you can actually see, let's look at silver first. So silver, you can see where we've been range bound with silver pretty much all week here. So you can see every time we've come down and we've tested this level here, just of 32, around about 32.11, or 30. Where we are right now actually is a level that has typically seen the price come down and retest around about 32.16, as we've got highlighted here. So typically what we've seen pretty much all week is tests of this level of support. So we would see the price come down, test this 32.16 level, and then bounce right up again. I just note at the moment that just going to quickly turn your eye to, okay, let's bring this across, see if this should work. Okay, you can see that. I'm just going to quickly flip you across to Thomson Reuters platform here, and we're just looking at the bottom right-hand side here. We can see, okay, the dollar index has risen to a 2-month high this morning, and you can see that just to the right, where the dollar index is actually currently at a high. It's coming up to actually a level of resistance, but you can see where gold and silver have suffered as a result, and the other currency pairs are also coming down as a result of dollar strength this morning. So that is the main reason that we're seeing gold and silver come down today. We are also noting that with the US dollar, we are coming up to an area of resistance. So if we just come up to that, it's 81.3. If we come up to that level and start to sell off, we would expect then gold and silver to have bottomed out for the day and then be supported. So we could get another bounce to the upside like we've had all week with silver. So we'll be paying particular attention to that as the silver price is coming down. If you look at the longer term time frame of silver, yes, you can see where we've been consolidating pretty much since the US election. We had some very volatile moves, big moves to the upside, and then you can see where we just consolidated. We've held on to gains. We're currently just moving between about $32 up to just below 33. So at some point we are going to break out of these levels. We're either going to break out to the upside with force, or we're going to break out to the downside and possibly retest 31.50. Or if we break up to the upside, we may be able to come back and retest about 33.55 to 34. Let's just have a look here. Sorry, the 33.50 would be an important level to get past, and also 34.75 we will be targeting to the upside if we could have a breakout to the upside on silver. But certainly on the if you're day trading on the smaller, like ourselves, on a smaller time frame, we're just moving sideways at the moment, just between support and resistance with silver. We've got a similar situation to gold. Gold, sadly, for those of you who have been trading the commodity markets, gold and silver, for quite some time now, you are starting to see gold and silver they're starting to move a little bit more independently these days than perhaps a year ago. So they're not as correlated as strongly as they used to be. You can see here where silver has actually been holding its ground all week. Gold is currently breaking down. So gold, here is the level of 1721 we were talking about. This has been supported several times. You can see where the price has actually bounced off there with pretty strong accuracy. You just needed a fairly small tight stop on that to keep you in that trade. Ride it back to this 1730 level. This has been a level all week of consolidation. We broke through that yesterday on strengthening of the dollar, and also the equities markets had a big move to the downside over the last few days, but particularly yesterday as well. So we've come down, and we're back at these levels of support. So 17, we keep holding just above 1700 since the earlier on in November. So we're coming for a retest. It does appear to be seen as a bargain hunting sort of area around this 1700 to 1705 level. We're coming very close to that at the moment. If we do break 1700, we do expect to move down on a retest of 1688 or a retest of 1674. But we haven't got a lot of news coming out today, so I don't expect such violent moves to be coming out today. We may just grind slightly lower, and we're just seeing a lot of dollar strength today, which is causing the price of gold to come down at the moment. So we may see a breakdown. If it breaks below 1700, a breakdown to test 1688. If we do hold around this 1700 level, we would potentially expect another bounce back to yesterday's highs of around about 1717, or possibly retest 1721. A breakout of 1721, we would expect a retest of 1730. So that's what we're looking at the moment, but certainly if you're looking for some live trade setups at the moment, do keep an eye on gold and silver. Let's see if they're going to be supported this morning around 32, sort of at the current price of silver. See if that's supported around about 32.15. With gold, we've potentially got some nice buying opportunities. If you take your mind back to the actual seasonality of gold and silver, you will know that the month we're in at the moment, November, is typically a bullish month for gold. October is typically a weaker month for gold. November is typically a bullish month for gold, and we've also got the seasonality of the gold festival in Asia at the moment, which runs through from August through to February. So I think we are seeing, certainly at the moment, on each pullback on gold is being perceived as a buying opportunity. So watch gold and silver closely this morning, guys, to see what if we're going to get a buying opportunity there today. Also watch out for any breaks of major supports. So we're looking at those two. We're just going to turn our eye to commodity currency, see what's going on there. You can see where gold has broken down the last few days. You've also seen New Zealand US dollar come down as well. So trading that to the short side, you can see where you've had some breaks of support levels, and we've come down. We've actually broken through here a level of support on New Zealand US dollar, and it's continuing just to consolidate just today. Still a little bit of weakness there. I would favour gold and silver at the moment for positions because of where the price is at the moment of New Zealand US dollar. There's not really much supporting it there, so we could see the price come down a little bit further until we get to some levels of support around these price action levels here, highlighted just on the chart. Let's take Australian US dollar. Okay, so let's just clear this chart for you, make it clean so you can see some analysis. Okay, same situation really with Australian US dollar. It's broken through some levels of support again this week. Very similar setup to New Zealand US dollar at the moment. So as we've seen more weakness, it's really down to the strength in the US dollar today, where we're seeing more weakness again. Potentially this is a level of support that's down here for New Zealand US dollar, but just going to, we're going to zoom out of this. Okay, so yeah, there is a level of congestion there. You can see a level of support potentially for New Zealand US dollar, so we may bottom out soon. Sorry, this is Australian US dollar, apologies. But we may see the price bottom out soon on Australian US dollar if the US dollar hits that level of resistance and then starts to come down. You'll then see Australian US dollar and New Zealand US dollar rally back and be supported. And obviously if there is more dollar strength, you will see more levels broken on Australian US dollar and you'll see the price come down further. Okay, we're going to look at USD Canadian dollar. Okay, so as you would expect, as the dollar is gaining strength, USD Canadian dollar is also gaining strength today, and you can see quite clearly there where we are gaining strength. So we've come down again to a level. It's been fairly range bound this week on USD Canadian dollar. You can see where we've had a level of support, where we've had really a level of resistance at these further price action levels here, but it's not been. It's about 3-to-1 risk towards on these trades, so it's 30 to be risking 10. So it's been okay with USD Canadian dollar. There have been nice opportunities this week on gold and silver, and certainly some of the Asia Pacific currencies as well. So we will very quickly have a look at those actually for you, and we'll just flip back to gold and silver again in a second. We'll just take a look at these markets for you. Okay, so here's the move of USD Japanese yen, which we were showing a little bit earlier. It came down to a level of support, and this was we had a huge move to the upside. This was the monster trade this week on USD Japanese yen. Similar situation with New Zealand dollar Japanese yen, where we came down, tested a level of support, and also Australian New Zealand dollar has been moving rather nicely between this level of support. We haven't really broken through, actually pretty much, guys, with pinpoint accuracy there. You want to get this chart if you can. Australian New Zealand dollar, you can see there where we come down and we've tested this level of 1.27138. Can see that there. You can see here such a tight risk on this trade to keep in the trade, and we've had huge reward up there each time in terms of the risk we put on the trade. So 55 point reward. So twice now actually we had this trade here as well from this same level of support. You can see the risk to keep you in that trade was very minimal. You know, we're looking under 10 pips to take that trade in terms of risk. Okay, so that was just Australian New Zealand dollar. So we just cast our eye back again to look at gold and silver, and we are okay. So this candlestick at the moment, it's sort of coming into a bit of a hammer there. You can see that the tail on there is showing that we are getting buying occurring again at this level of support. So where are we at the moment? We're at 17.09. You can see we are getting. You can see here, looking back to previous levels of support here, where the price has been supported at the moment this morning. US dollar index is coming down slightly at the moment. We're through to 11:30, so really we're not going to see huge volumes now until the American market around about opens about 1 o'clock now, but they may suddenly decide this is a great buying opportunity, and you might see the price just slowly come up later on today and come back to retest the 17 level. We shall see. And let's just cast our eye again to silver before we start looking at news ahead. So we'll just clean the screen for you again so we can have a better look. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So we've cleaned the screen, so we're just going to keep this very straightforward then. So in terms of level of support, you can see very clearly this whole level of support here. Actually, let me redraw that for you ever so slightly. Okay, so you can see where with 32 is providing strong support at the moment for silver. You can see we're getting a little bit of a bounce off that level right now, and we can see the level of resistance is around about 32.75 there. So obviously if the price was to get below 32 or 195, you wouldn't want to be, you want to get out. It's not a recommendation. We're just looking at the price action, and so this is what we're looking at, the setup at the moment with silver. So hopefully that gives you lots to be getting on with this morning with your trading, and just keep an eye on gold and silver this morning. It's nice to be doing a live webinar where we've got some very interesting setups, and we will come back to just going to come back and to the presentation for you and talk about the news moving forward. So I'm just going to quickly highlight a story here for you. This is just to do with the fiscal worries at the moment. So we've got just news coming out of Reuters that the European shares fell for a third day on Friday as weak economic outlook, uncertainty over US budget talks, and an upsurge of violence in the Middle East weighed on investors. We've also got a strong dollar this morning, so we can see the euro has come down this morning against the dollar, and it's come down to a 2-month low this morning, so that's obviously having an effect on gold and silver as well. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to now look at the news looking forward. So there's not a great deal of news coming out today, although we've got the obvious concerns there with the fiscal worries at the moment. But in terms of scheduled news, so next week we have 3 o'clock on Monday. We've got US existing home sales. So this is a measure in the change of the annualized number of existing residential buildings that was sold during the previous month. So this will help to gauge the strength of the US housing market. It's a key indicator of overall economic strength. Higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, in which case you will see some weakness in gold and silver, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar, in which case you will see some strength in gold and silver. Next announcement, there's not too much going on in terms of announcements earlier on next week that will affect the commodities, gold and silver market and the commodity currencies until Thursday at 1 o'clock, 1:30. We have the CAD core retail sales, which measures the change in the total value of sales at the retail level in Canada. Very important indicator of consumer spending. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for USD Canadian dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for USD Canadian dollar. And also on Friday at 7 a.m. we have the German GDP, obviously important for Europe, and the euro. Quarterly percent changes in GDP which show the strength and in the growth rate of the economy as a whole. Higher than expected readings should be taken as bullish for the euro, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the euro. And of course that's correlated to the gold price. Again, strong euro, typically strong gold price. Weak euro, typically weak gold price, although gold and silver are holding their ground quite well as safe havens at the moment. So we're still bouncing off that 1700 support on gold and 32 on silver. Okay, so as we come towards the end, we're just going to check for any questions at all. And we have seen a few questions coming in, guys. So, okay, we'll come on to those very shortly. We have got a few questions just about our strategies as well. We have 5 core strategies that we trade at the Gold and Silver Club. So today we're just running you through a price action. And this is, if you'd like to learn more, learn to trade, or have access to the platforms that we're trading, you can very simply just go to www.thegoldandsilver.com course form. Show you exactly how you do that. So you just go to the website www.thegoldandsilverclub. You'll see there just learn to trade in the top left hand corner. Just click on that, and it's by application only, so you just need to fill in an application form for the Gold and Silver Club trading coaching program. Okay, if you've got any questions at all, please also email us at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com, or you can telephone the office on 0207 193 0403. Okay, we're just going to come down to some of the questions we've got here as well. Okay, so what time frames are the charts? So the time frames that we were looking in the charts there, we had a combination of time frames we were looking at. We were looking at 30 minutes, we were looking at 4-hour time frames, and we were looking at daily time frames. So we were looking, we are day traders, so we do want to be paying close attention to the 30-minute time frames as well to get in at the best possible prices, but we also want to pay attention to the trends on the 4-hour and obviously the daily as well, utilizing other indicators which we've got. Okay, so great question from Peter. Okay, fantastic. And could form, okay, that's true. So Danji's just saying we could form a head and shoulders on USD CAD on your chart. Yes, certainly. So USD CAD, another one to look at. We have got some interesting setups certainly at the moment, as you've seen just this morning on gold and silver and some of the commodity currencies. Have a look to see if we're going to bottom out on Australian US dollar and New Zealand US dollar, or whether they are going to break through to further support levels. So do keep an eye on that, guys. If you've got any other questions, we're coming towards the end of the webinar. Please do feel free to get in contact via the email address there if you are interested to learn specific strategies and come on one of our workshops as part of the Gold and Silver Club coaching program. Do just fill in the application. We'll be seeing you the same time next week again, so 11 o'clock next Friday. And I must say it's great to see so many of you on here today, and lots of new faces as well. So you know, we welcome you and really look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great end of week's trading, guys, and we'll speak to you on the next one. Okay, bye bye.